What is going on? This is Sunderland Senior coming at you with another video today. And I'm starting a new segment called Why the Hate. And it's pretty much where I'll be talking about a game or a movie where I ask people in the community, for example, like the Resident Evil community, Silent Hill community, why they hate or what is it about this specific game or movie that they hate. And I'll read the comments as I go. So I'm part of the Silent Hill Paradise group on Facebook, and I asked the question, what is it about the game that the community didn't like? I agree it wasn't the best game in the franchise, but it was still pretty good in my opinion. And I basically went on to say that, they comment and I would make a video about it and I would read their comments. So hopefully I can say names and pretty much I can use their names and their comments. And if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. And if you some of these names I cannot pronounce, but I'm going to do my best. And once again, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. And hopefully everybody's cool with me reading their names and their comments. If not, I will definitely do another video and just leave your names out or whatever, or dislike if you didn't like me using your name. But if you did like, definitely hit the like, subscribe if you want. I'm definitely looking forward to making more videos in the future. Comment with what you liked or didn't like about the video, how I can do better. And I pretty much want to make this channel for the communities, respectively, for the game community. I want this to be a for the people, by the people kind of thing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into what it was about the Silent Hill Homecoming game that some people just didn't like. And so the first comment comes from Paul Suichi Winchell. I hope I said that right. It didn't use Silent Hill's story. It was its own world, like a corporate fan fiction. It would be fine as its own game, but it was in no way Silent Hill. And he's not completely wrong. Something about this game just didn't feel like a Silent Hill game. Like it would have worked as its own story as opposed to just attaching the Silent Hill name to this game. And he's not completely wrong, but it doesn't feel like a Silent Hill game. For some reason, I played this game, I beat it, I got the good ending. It was kind of it just I don't know. It didn't feel like a Silent Hill. It had the Silent Hill name. At some point, it did kind of feel like a Silent Hill game, but then it didn't. If that makes any sense. All right, let's go on to the next comment, and this one is from Nikki Matsis. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. This person said, he or she said, I agree that this game doesn't deserve the hate that it gets. It does have some flaws. The combat is a bit of a pain, and the inventory system is annoying. And as for the horror, it's just quite different. It's a quite different tone to the earlier games in the series, less subtle and more in your face. No build up, just lots of quote unquote jump scares. And towards the end, it turns into Hostel. While on its own, not a bad game, it certainly doesn't reach the same level as its predecessors. And this person is 100% correct. It does have jump scares. But once again, it falls flat. It falls flat. And the combat isn't bad, it's just not the best. You do have a dodge button, which is one good thing to say about the combat, but for the most part, it's just the combat is not the best that it could be. The inventory management is not what I wouldn't have gone with that kind of an inventory setup, But then again, Chris Horak, shit, I almost forgot about Pyramid fucking. I kid you not, this is what he posted. Shit, I almost forgot about Pyramid fucking. Why did they do that? I'm pretty sure he means Pyramid Head and why he was in the game, but let's go with it. Chris, more power to you, brother. I guess. Dennis Spencer, the control is atrocious. It is. It's not the best control scheme, but it's not the tank controls from Resident Evil. And I mean, it's the controls aren't too bad, but once again, not the way I would have gone with this. Uh, Joseph Wolfie Martin commented, the plot was very slow and dragged on until about halfway. About the Hell Descent level, but wasn't good until the Nightmare House level, which I agree. The combat wasn't the greatest, but it was livable. It all felt too clunky, and the only weapons I could finish the game with were the knife. Definitely not enough ammo, but I like the camera movements. And the transitions to the other world was amazing. Environments were significantly dark, even with the flashlight, which I agree. I agree. If you can see by the video, it's pretty dark. Where was I? Definitely. And levels seemed rather linear and bland, but in terms of gameplay, was great. And the Nightmare House and Hell Descent are my favorite levels. I loved how it confirmed that Sybil was dead. The references to Silent Hill 2 and the cameo of Travis, all of the games in terms of soundtrack. I don't care for this one, but it's better than Origins. Mary's vocal tracks, I actually prefer Origins, but as for the score, Homecoming takes the win. I agree. I totally agree. And this person put in like a whole, Jesus, like a whole Bible of Ryan Schaefer put in like a whole thing, and my goodness, it is long. But he started off with, let me start by saying that if you like it, I'm not going to tell you not to like it. That said, I will describe the faults I have witnessed and might go to sounding a little ranty. And this dude does rant on forever. So you can get on the Silent Hill Paradise group, and you can read his whole rant, or I can post the whole rant verbatim on. I'll make another video of just Ryan Schaefer's rant because it is long, like ridiculously long. But I thank him for commenting. Okay. Warren Moses posted, I liked it. Only SH I didn't like was the Vita one. That's it. Which is if you've never played it, or if you weren't a big Vita fan, PS Vita, there was a game called Book of Memories for the PS Vita, and thank God I downloaded the demo because that game was just shit. It was horrible garbage. It was like an over-the-top kind of dungeon, kind of like Diablo, but in the Silent Hill universe. You could customize your character, and like I said, I downloaded the demo, and the only thing that they stole from me was my time and memory card space. But I mean, like I said, this game wasn't the best game in the franchise, but it wasn't like the worst. All right, AJ Sheps. Non-Japanese studios can't seem to find the true essence of horror in the mundane without it being massively obvious. This is true. This is true for horror movies. This is true for video horror games, survival horror. I mean, Resident Evil went from survival horror to balls out action movie bullshit, whatever it was. But, I like the Resident Evil franchise. And I think we had to suffer through Resident Evil 6 to get something amazing like Resident Evil 7. But I mean, it's like, I think Japanese horror is the best kind of horror, and I will delve into that later. So, yeah. Shannon Demke, I apologize if I did not say that right. I literally just bought this game 2 days ago, LMAO. So hopefully she has a good opinion about it. Hopefully it's not too bad. Jude Skolowski. My biggest issue is that it was riddled with bugs that made it ultimately unplayable. About 2/3 of the way through, I also felt like there was too much focus on combat / the enemies were sometimes stronger than they needed to be. And then, as everyone else is mentioning, it took away too much from the movie. Past that, looking back on it, it wasn't that bad of a game. IMO. I don't know what IMO means, but yeah, I mean, the combat and the inventory weren't the best in this series, and he is right because some of these nurses, in like the beginning of the game took ridiculous. Like I think I had to. The only weapon you have in the very beginning is the combat knife, and some of these nurses, it's like Jesus, man, they just took a lot to take down. But excuse me, but the combat wasn't the best, and some of these enemies did take forever, especially when you get to like the later levels. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this game isn't bad, but it's just there are things that kind of turn you off about it. Ryan Jonathan, I love the game. It's in my top three, to be honest. And, you know, love it or hate it, your opinion matters to me. Like, comment whatever you want. But this game is definitely in my top five. In my top five Silent Hill games. Not in my top five games of all time, but definitely in my top five Silent Hill games. Dylan Chandi, I liked it. I think it's pretty underrated. And that is true. It doesn't have the best story, but it doesn't have the worst story. In my opinion, I would honestly say that maybe Downpour, Silent Hill Downpour had. Maybe I didn't give that game the chance it deserved. I have it on my hard drive, and I played it when it first came out. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I played it for a little bit, but I couldn't get into it. Let me know if I should give it a second chance in the comments. Maybe I just I didn't give that game the chance it deserved. How about that? And if you think I should give it another chance and do a video about it, definitely let me know in the comments. Dicky Bevan, he said, to me, this game was like watching the biggest budget Hollywood remake of a classic J horror film. It looks smart, but has no heart. Man, that hits the nail on the head. I think that the game's biggest downfall, how shallow it feels, the vast majority of its surface level. Tropey horror garbage dressed in a Silent Hill skin, which really hurts the game's better moments, because you can see there were some good ideas there. They just never fleshed them out. There were obviously some passionate people on the dev team, but not enough across the project. The final product is a buffet of half-baked ideas and others that should have been left to burn in the oven. Ooh, harsh, but he's not entirely wrong. Because if you play this game and you love Silent Hill and you play this game, you can kind of tell that the team was either split in half about what they wanted to do and what the other half wanted to do. So like each half had their own vision on this game, but it was like they bumped heads, and it shows in the final product. I realize I'm being super negative, so I'll throw some positives out there to even things out a bit. The boss fights and designs were great. You know what? Silent Hill Homecoming had some of the most awesome bosses that I have ever seen. Like, no joke. Like, Google the bosses and Google how to defeat some of them. Asphyxia was probably my favorite boss. Where was I? Some of the boss. Soundtrack was pretty good. There were occasionally some awesome visuals. The story also showed promise in places. And that's true. Just never quite pans out. That is so true. And I'm going to leave a like for this person because I like their comment. Bloop. Okay. Let me see what else. Bloop. Okay, let me see. Nikki Violet. I didn't mind the nurse or Pyramid Head being in there. In brackets, LOL, nobody complains about the nurse in Silent Hill 3. After all, and the whole, quote unquote, just part of Silent Hill 2 argument really pisses me off. True, but to me, they kind of felt shoehorned in. What bothered me was the situation with Ellie. It felt much more forced than, say, Henry and Eileen, and was distracting. Could have spent more time fleshing out backstories, and in places it just felt rushed. True. Jesus, that is so true. What is your YouTube channel, Silent Senior? You know what? I'll post this video in the comments. I'll post a link to this video in the comments, and you all can just jump on in and check it out. Justin Missingel asked what my YouTube channel was. David Leto, come off Winchester. I really liked it. Like I said, This game has its ups and downs. It has its pros and cons, but some people, some of these people, some of these people's gripes and some of these people's dislikes actually are pretty valid. They are pretty valid. Joe Pio Pereira, I liked it too. Peko Ramsva, I'm sorry. If I mispronounce your name again, I am so sorry. And I know I keep saying that, but I am. It was good in my opinion. I liked everything that belongs to Silent Hill series, or even looks like Silent Hill. We replaying it to play all the series on your YouTube channel. I will definitely do that. I got a game card, a visual game capture card. So for some reason, my PlayStation 2 isn't working on it, which I need to find some connections to it. Tim von der Warden, man, this dude is another one who posted like a super long, like a super long thing. Pyramid Head had no business being there. The atmosphere was bland. The story was actually not bad, but again, Pyramid Head, which is true. Like, play this game and you will see that he shows up maybe a couple of times. It's been a while since I beat it, but I can't remember him making like a big impact. Fighting cult members is something I did not enjoy. In fact, the whole cult can fuck off. Back to the shadows where they previously loomed. That is when they became scary, when you don't know who and what they are. As far as I can remember, the monsters also had no correlation with the protagonist. Pyramid Head did, but he wasn't supposed to be there anyways, and that's true. I also much dislike what had become of the other world. Too mechanized, too steampunk, too much Hollywood. That is so true. The combat system was obviously aimed at more action-based game. I hated that. Silent Hill was always a slow-paced game with a clumsy combat system. A better system would have been welcome, but this wasn't the answer. It doesn't need to be just better, it needs to be more immersive. And the protagonist might have been in the army. He wasn't always fighting humans, yet he faces monsters as if it's an everyday business. And overall, I was very displeased with Homecoming. And truth be told, I only bought Downpour so I could properly educate myself on how bad the game was as well, because I knew it was going to be atrocious. Once again, everything in that comment was true. I can't really disagree with him. And like I said, I haven't played Downpour, but maybe I should, because I felt like I didn't give it the chance it deserved. Mason Gordon, I enjoyed it. Also got every ending. Cool. See? Positive. Once again, Paco Ramsva. There's no Silent Hill without Pyramid Head. True. To an extent. True, but I wouldn't just put him in there to put him in there, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't just put Pyramid Head in the game just to put him in there. Let me see. Taylor Maturet. Too many enemies, not enough health or HP drinks, and monsters like the, I don't know what to call them, the smoky fog thing, those things that pop out of the building floor, hard to fight. Yeah, some of these enemies are actually pretty hard. They take a lot. So if you don't have a gun, it takes a lot. I think he's talking about the ones you encounter in the cemetery that open up their chest and breathe smoke at you. Those guys, if you don't have a gun, those guys are a pain in the ass to fight. Andres Strasser, if Pyramid Head wouldn't appear, it would look like some simple horror game called Homecoming. That is true. Cooper Peace, it was cheap and had none of the things that made Silent Hill amazing. It's like someone watched those two awful movies and decided that they were what Silent Hill was truly about. Cooper, I'm going to disagree with you. Only one of those movies was, what did he say? Only one of those movies was awful, which was the second one, Silent Hill Revelations, or I forget the name of it. The first movie was actually pretty good. It stayed more true to the games than the Resident Evil movies. How's that? The first Silent Hill movie stayed more true to the games than the first Resident Evil movies. The second one was kind of like a wet fart. We had the beautiful Kiri Frost saying, I didn't like that it was mostly action based with every few puzzles and Pyramid Head. I didn't like that it was mostly action based with very few puzzles, and Pyramid Head was in there when he shouldn't have been. I love Pyramid Head, BTW. We all love Pyramid Head. Can we agree on that? Can we all agree that we love Pyramid Head? We love that guy. We should, you know what? They should have made like a Pyramid Head game. Like the person, whoever the entity was, like it was kind of like Hellraiser, where he used to be a dude and then he became Pinhead. They could have done that, and I would have bought that thing. It would have maybe the guy wandered into Silent Hill, and he couldn't defeat his inner demons, and so he became Pyramid Head. What do you think? Pyramid Head game? Yes or no? Hit or miss? Hit or miss? Thank you, Kiri. Blake Tootle. It's just an Americanized pile of shit with some great music. I wouldn't say it's a pile of shit. Like I said, this game had its moments, but I wouldn't say that. I liked this game. I really did. But there's some aspects of it that I didn't like. I agree with the majority of the people here. I really do. I agree with them. Thank you for commenting on the post. Thank you guys for your feedback. I genuinely agree with the majority of the gripes in the post because they're valid. The combat system wasn't the best. The inventory system, it wasn't the best either. So both of those, Pyramid Head felt like they had to just put him in there for the sake of putting him in here. The nurses, but it does have some good. The story could have been better. The story could have been fleshed out a little better. Some of the characters could have been fleshed out a little better. But the story was pretty good for what it was. I wasn't expecting Silent Hill 2 quality in this game, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy with this game. Could have been a whole lot worse. Let's just put it that way. This game could have been a whole lot worse. But I like this game for what it was, and I like the effort that was put into it. But like I said, I think that the dev team just split off into two factions, and one of them wanted to stay as true to the Silent Hill franchise as humanly possible, and the other one wanted to do its own Hollywood thing. And it shows in the final product, because this game has some good moments, but it also has some shitty moments. The bosses, the bosses were amazing. That's the only thing that I will say, that the bosses were amazing. Asphyxia, one of my favorite bosses. And I think the bosses were a little bit more fleshed out than some of the other characters in the game, which is kind of sad. But overall, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you like or didn't like. Let me know how I can improve. Definitely subscribe. Definitely comment. Definitely tell me how I can do better. Like I said, I want this to be a channel for the people and by the people. So let me know what game you want me to talk about next. Let me know what you would like to see. I also want to do some movies, like for example, the Silent Hill movies. I recently watched Uzumaki, which is the Junji Ito movie, and I can definitely talk about that. But like I said, you guys definitely let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to see more of. Movie reviews. You want to hear me talk about movies? You want to hear me talk about games? Like I said, I don't think I gave Silent Hill Downpour the chance that it deserved, but I can definitely talk about it in a later video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you for all of your support, whoever is supporting me. I'm trying to do better with everything. So like I said, comment what you think of this video. Comment what you agree or disagree with. Try to find me on Facebook, Sunderland Senior. I'm in the Silent Hill Paradise group. Definitely have a great day. Let me know how I can do better. Let me know what you want to see more of, or let me see tell me what you want to see next. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a great day.